We are live. We will start in 12 minutes. So we are starting. Now let's see, we will make things ready. We will start in 4 minutes. For the ones that want to copy my trades, this is the 2 brokers to use. So the plan for today is to look over to see if find some trades for Forex, maybe do one trade for a binary option, and in the end, when we have some time, then we will look into some cryptocurrency, see what have happened there. So that's basically the plan today. We will start in 3 minutes time. Now let's see. We'll start in 2 minutes. As always, we will start by looking investing.com, then we'll take a couple of Forex trade, and then we'll see if we can take one binary option trade. If we don't get the binary option trade, we will just at least explain how we are trading. So we will start in 1 minute. Just editing a little here. So we will start now. So as always, we need to look into investing.com. If you do not have an investing.com account from before, make sure you make one. It's completely free, and you need to add your address. So all times you see in investing.com follow your timeline. So like you see, every timeline you see here is following my timeline. You see here, current time, and then you have the GMT -3, that is my timeline. So that everything is corrected for my timeline. So then if you take a look here now, we always, before we're trading, we need to go to news and economic calendar. We go there. So then what you're looking for is this you see here, 3 stars news. This was of course very early in the morning, so this is way down. But if a news come, like you see this line here, it's basically where we are right now. That's 12, the current time of me. That means if it was something 11:30 here, we will need to wait like 30 more minutes, because we should wait 1 hour after a 3-star news. So if you see 3-star news, yes, wait. And if you see some 3-star news come soon after your time, also wait, because if you open a trade, you never know which direction the trade can go, because sometimes when it comes 3-star news, it's an explosion. So always keep in mind to follow this. So for example, if you're up early in the morning, wait. Then you see it for the next day, for example, you want to trade early morning, then you see, okay, no need to wake up 6:30 in the morning. Then you wake up, for example, 6:30 in the morning. Because then you're making sure that these news are done, and you see the rest of the day is open, and that means you can trade all day long, the rest without any problems. And if you want to keep a trade open overnight, then you check for tomorrow, are there any news for morning? Then you see with GBP you have a news, and Australian dollar have a news. That means you should maybe, if you're not waking up before these times, for example this is the middle of the night, then you should close them before night, because if you have it open in this time here, it will basically be gambling. So also make sure you check for the next day if you're keeping a trade overnight. But this is more for day trading. If you're a swing trader, that's another case. But still can be nice to look at least before you open a trade if there's some news. But it's not so important for the news for the next days and things, because your stop loss and take profit is so much bigger. So it should be very strange if your stop loss should be hit by news when we talk about swing trading, because our stop loss is so much bigger, because our timeline is 4 hours, so we have much more to go. So that's enough for news. We can see we are good to go today, nothing more is happening, so we can take trades. So then, as always, let's take a look at the euro against dollar first. Let's take a look at the one-day chart. We are yet again below the $1 mark. Let's put up the 4-hour chart to see what you can see. I think from experience we have learned now that if we're going to take a short trade, we need to, because we are only looking for short trade because we are in a downtrend, we need to have a trade in the 4-hour chart that basically close below this red line you see here. If that occur, we can then take a short position, something like this, take a stop loss just above this. You see we also have a type of resistance up here that we are currently testing. So basically now we are in between 2 resistance zones. So here I would look for something like this. But for day trading we might have opportunity, as we are currently up in this region here. So let's see how it looks like in the 30 minutes there. So here we can see that we have a current making some type of trend downwards. Best case scenario would be to take a trade up in the trend, but we might not get so high, because you can also see the closer the bar, it's actually around there. So we are in the closed bar area. So what we can look for here, as we are in a downtrend, we can take a short position. Let's see how this looks like first. Take a short position here. We take a stop loss just above this spike, see up here, and we target the bottom. Let's see if that's not good enough. We can clearly see that it's a 1-to-1 trade, so we can't take this trade. So let's rather wait to see if he can retest up here, and then we maybe can get a trade. So currently we wait and see what will happen with euro against dollar before we take a trade here. So we have no trade for swing and no trade for day trading. Let's take a look at GBP USD, if there are something better there. We are currently continuation in a very strong downtrend. Let's take a look at the 4 hour to see what we can see. We can make our trend line. Let's see if we can mark this one a little better. So the trend is going very direct down. We don't have so much movement in between, if you see. So if you put the downside on the trend, we can see that it's not that much movement. It's go up, down, very like this. So typically it's super nice to take a trade in the top of a trend, like we see here right now, very soon. But it's not so much to gain on it. So, but maybe for our day trading view can be better. So let's take a look here. We clearly see that we are up now in this region here. Let's see. Looks like we maybe is forming a M. Here I would prefer if we came up here, because it's a possibility, because make also sense, because we can see here in the left side that we have a resistance zone in this region here. I will mark it so you see it better. So you can see it, and that fits perfectly with this line. So the best entry would be if we can come a little more up. But by the way, we can take a look if this trade is something we can take. So let's say we take something like this and target down here. I see that as a valid trade. So we can take that one. So that's GBP USD, first trade of the day. We are following the trend downwards. Let's see. We will take our stop loss level. For the ones that want, it's a possibility to get a better entry if you maybe wait, but it's not a 100% sure thing that you'll do. So I think this entry we have now at least follow our rules. So we have that. I'll make sure I take the trade myself. There. So that was the first trade of the day. We have that set in already. So as you see, we see clearly that we are in a downtrend. We did put our stop loss right above this support area that is turn resistant. We have our stop loss, and we see that we have a ratio 1.6. So our take profit is as we want to. The closed bar is a little below, so we are comfortable with our take profit also. So this entry here I find very interesting. Let's look back here. Here, to take a trade, we need to come up to this trend line. If we don't do that, I don't see this as a valid trade. But we will check back on euro against dollar. That's why we have it here in the top. So let's take a look at GBP, GPY. This one has moved a little strange lately, so we have not done so good on this pair, but we are still looking. As we did see, this area is very strong, but we have so much buying up down, so this one have been very difficult to trade. So I think we are staying away from this trade. Of course, if you take a look here now, we are in a downtrend. We see that. We can identify that. Let's remove this line. This line has not had so much purpose for us. Of course, here also would be nicer if we could come higher up. But I do not think we take this trade. It can be a nice short trade. If we zoom in and we see, we can clearly see that we are downtrend. We are, but the trade was a little before. Trade was up here. I will also, like I said, I would like to have the trade closer to the trend line because I will feel more comfortable taking the trade. And then I will take a stop loss above this previous high here. If I do that now, it will be too big stop loss. So I think we stay away from GBP, GPY in this session. So let's rather look into binary option. Let's see if there are any questions first, by the way. Okay, no special questions I see right now. You can ask any questions. No question is too stupid to ask. So now we are going to go to binary option. Let's open candle chart. We are going to add one indicator. The indicator we're going to use is Bollinger Band. We use the Bollinger Band basically to see the trend change. So when we have the Bollinger Band, we don't need the medium line, so we just use the upper and lower band. To make it more clear, we change both of them to white, because then we clearly see where they are. And right now, I think we can just look for short trades. So let's mark that, because I see we are too far down. I will explain. Let's first see if we can find our area where we are. I think here. That's area. Let's mark that one red. And we can make it a little thicker, like this. So maybe we can move it a little more down to here. That looks also like a nice region. So here we can clearly see when we come up to this line, we go down, we come up to this line, we go down, we come up to this line, and we go down. Here we cross it, but then also you can see the Bollinger Band did cross above. That means when the Bollinger Band comes in the top side of this line, it's not valid more. So as we need to have this upper Bollinger Band below our resistant line, that is this red line you see here. As long as we have a space in between it, it's a valid trade. But right away this Bollinger Band cross this white line and cross above this red, that means the market might not 100%, but might be ready to turn and break this resistance zone. But currently this one is valid. Down here we can see now that we do not have any area. We just see one here. It's not enough. We need to see much more. Let's look more to the left. And then we can see all the way down here. We can mark it if we for some reason come down here. We change that one for green. We'll move these lines. Right away we see that we can get new valid trades. Right now we can see here, but that's too high right now because this one will be below it. So currently this is the two trading zones we have. So like I said, this one is not valid because it's just one. We need a multiple area that we touch, like you see here. Come here, go down, here go down, here go down. And here you can see it works like support because you are above it. So you touch here, go up, touch, go up, go up, go up. And here we broke it. So that's basically how we are trading. So currently the way we are trading this, I take $100 trade, and if this one shoot up to this red line here, we are then going to put, I make the colors the same way you're going to push here. So if you put up the same, and you can see on the right side here, you see the numbers, I put the lines. So when come to the red, then you push the red button. When come to the green, you push the call button. It's that simple. And as long as, of course, you have a space in between here, and you have a space in between here. So now you can see we are shooting down. So if this one comes down now without this one break below here, we are going to push the call button. So now let's wait and see. Looks like that maybe are the one we are going to get first. Now I was a little early to see. Let's see what euro against dollar is giving us. I did not think about that. 85, we are lucky. It's the one that give us the most. So we did actually come into the, because I forgot that we need to go here to choose the pair that give us the most money. The most money means the one that have a higher percent. Because if, for example, you trade GBP, Australia and dollar, you need an incredible high win rate to make money. Because as you are trading with, so that means, for example, if you trade $100, if you win, you make only 60, but if you lose 100. So that means you're already losing 40%. So you need, like I said, you need a very high win rate to make money with 60%. But if you keep to the 85, then we are golden. Because then you're only losing 15% on losing compared with the winning. So then with a decent win rate, you make money. So that's something you always need to keep in mind when you're choosing a pair. It's that simple, you just need to choose. And also make sure you choose a normal pair, like dollar against Swedish crowns might be one that is very volatile, might move very much in one direction, and maybe don't follow our rules so much. So keep to the bigger pairs, so it follow better the rules basically. Because some of the smaller pairs, they might be nice to trade, but if you are a trend follower trader, then yes, because there you have much more trending trades, and but that's not what I'm doing. Does not fit my style. But if you're trend follower trading, yes, smaller pairs might be better for you. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to mark up this one so we see what's happening, because we can't be following this all the time, as this is a live session and we need to be doing other things also. So everything that happened after this yellow line I will explain, and then we can see, like for example, if I come up to this red line and we see that they are below with the bulge band, we can see, okay, that would be a valid trade, and we see if what would be a winning trade, and so on. But if you have a big interest about the bulge band, or you are sitting with two screens, or you're splitting your screens or whatever, you can follow and take the trades as long as you see the bullish band here, this upper is below it, and here you have a space also, so it's above this green line. So as long as you stay that, these two will always be valid in that way. We will be moving these ones after the space of the bulge band, or if we cross above, then we move it to the next area and so on. But for now, these both are valid. So then let's see if there are any questions. We are now looking at binary option. I just basically explain how we train by binary option, my strategy there. There are no certainty that we will take trades with binary option. It's 1 hour because I can't spend too much time looking at 1 minute chart there. But if you are lucky, we maybe get 1 or 2 trades. If not, we are going to look more into Forex, and we go into once in a while and see if there are any trades available for us. So then let's take open USD GPY. This one have for a very long time been trending upwards. Japanese yen are really not doing good. You see now we are currently on a higher high again compared with what you see in the past here. So it's not that it's just trending, it's trending very strongly. So that is nice if we can get, let's see now if we can start to mark it up, see if we can see any trading possibilities. We don't need these lower lines here. Let's remove some of this noise in the chart. We don't need this one either. So let's try to mark up some of these things. So currently, if we take a look here now, let's mark the upper region also, that make it so we can see the targets we can go for. So as we see, we have basically made a new trend line here that is above it, but we also are currently very close to strong resistant area. So as we are an uptrend, we are basically just looking for buy opportunities, but I would like us to go something like this and close above here, then we can go for a nice long trade. But currently, as we see that we came here, we hit, we go down, we again did go and go down, we hit here, and we're starting to go down again. So currently we can't take a trade here because as we are only looking for long opportunities, at least with the swing trade, we can't take a trade just right now because we need to see that if you break this resistance first. You see here also the same thing happened here, and here we got the perfect entry. You see, if we can mark that, hopefully will be something like this. You see here, exactly the same thing. We hit it, we go down, we came again, we go down here. Here we almost did break it, but you see, that's why you don't never put a pending trade, because if you are done, you may be, depending on your stop loss of course, you might hit your stop loss on this one down here. But here you see we broke it, we close it above, and then a nice entry will be here and set a stop loss just below the start of the trend, and start of the trend was this one. So we put our stop loss here and target 1.5, and we would hit a take profit. So the same looks like it's going to happen here, but we need to wait patiently so we can get something that looks like this one. So we close above. Would be super nice if we did something like this, because then we can target 1.5 the trade and set our stop loss just below the start of the trend. Start of trend, we can say it's here, but I don't think I will take the stop loss so high, so strong. I will take it below this one here. So the stop loss I will take here. So a trade could be looking something like this. So let's say we enter here, we set our stop loss just right below here, and 1.5 the trade. Now it's 2, but we change it to 1.5. So we basically just go here, we make this one smaller till we, let's see, if we put this one to 4. Now we are getting closer to our target. Let's put it to 3, let's see what happened. That was too much. 5, 6, 7. There, I think we have it there. So our trade would basically look something like this. So we have a stop loss just below this one here. and take 1.5 the trade. So that's what you're looking for. But like I said, currently there are no trade. We just need to be patient, because we can also one time he will break and maybe go down and retest this region for then to maybe start to go upwards again. But for now, as you see, we are in a strong trend upwards again, since basically I have to say the trend started down here. Let's remove this one here. So the trade started basically down. The trend started here, so since 10th of August. But for the long run, we have been in an uptrend all the way back since 2021, since here basically. So the January 2021, for the ones that opened a long trade here and forgot about it and just kept it open, they have done crazy good, because we have basically been in an uptrend all the way since then. So, but for now, let's patiently wait and see what can happen here. But you can see if you can see a day trading opportunity, of course. So for the day trading part, I think maybe we see something here. Let's see. We see we have a trend going something like this. What we can do here, let's see if that could be a valid trade. If we put our stop loss just something like this and target the top, we can do that. We can even take the stop loss little better. Let's see. There. I think we can take that trade for day trading part. So that is for USD, GPY. We are following the uptrend. Long trade. Enter at there. And let's see. We take our stop loss there. And our take profit we take at this level. I'll explain more after. So then if you go back to the chart, the reason for this trade is that you see on the 30-minute chart that we are in this uptrend. We see just one time we broke a little below, but only to this last support. But then we continue upwards, and it's a high probability that we will at least retest this before we either go down or up. And we are following the trend upwards. We put our stop loss just below this support. You see here we have the support, so I just put it a little below, as we are following the rule of 1.5, so I find that very good. So we can take that trade easily. So we are targeting now the top of the trend. So there we have it. You can enter this trade now. You see as it's a gray, that means we are exactly in the area where I did put the information. So then let's move on. We can mark that one as done. Let's see if there had come any trades for here. As we see, since our yellow line here, we have not got any movement. What we can do, we can see that we can move this one. Let's see how it looks like in the past. You see here, we come up, we go down, we come up little above, but we go down, go here, and also when we are in the top side. So this is still a nice entry. Here we can still not move this one up, so this one need to be done here. But at least this one is valid now. You can see if there can be any other area. Maybe here, would that be possible? Actually, maybe. But I think I want it here. So let's keep it. So if you come up to this red line here now, we will put a put trade, and if you come down to this line here, it's a call trade. So, but as we are right in the middle, we don't need. You can see we are just, it's very little up and downs, so very little movement. So it's not, more like it's not deciding for if it's going to go to downwards or to upwards. So we just need to wait longer, and this is to board. We can't be sitting looking this for the session, so we need to move on. So, but at least I think we have done 2 trades, isn't it? Let me check. We have done 2 trades, yes. So I will find that quite good. So now we are done with all these 4 pairs. Let's take a look at gold. Here we have a lot of lines. Let's remove some of this. Sometimes I use a lot of things to just show my way of thinking. Let's look at the higher time frame first. So here now we are in, as we currently we are in a downtrend. It is it's not justified to take a trade here now, because we can break this. It's going against everything I believe of to take because I can't take a short trade on gold. I just have something against it. I can't do it for gold and for cryptocurrency. I don't have the capability to take short trades on it. Go against everything I believe in. So in that way, as I'm only looking for long opportunities, we are basically trading against the rules if we start to take a long trades down here. Because even though we have a strong support here, we are in the downtrend. Like this was a strong support also, we broke it. This was a strong support, we broke it. And this one, there's nothing that says that we will not break this one either. So we just need to wait till at least we cross this blue trend line. As long as we don't do that, we can't look for long trade. But if you have nothing against it, you can look for short trades, but then you need to do it when they are higher up, closer to this blue trend line. Like for example here would be a very nice short trade. You could have just put your stop loss above this spike here and target basically the next support that will be here. So that would be an incredible nice trade for you. For the ones, like I said, that can't short gold, I can't do it. I have a block for it. But we can look for how it looks like in the 30 minutes. Maybe things look different. In the 30 minutes, we are maybe, we can say like an uptrend. But the bigger view says downtrend, as you see here. We need to make a higher high, and the last one was here. So first, only if we cross this region, we can then target up here. But currently, you see here, we are making higher lows and lower highs, lower lows, the higher lows, I mean, confusing. Let's make a trend line here, see how this looks like, if we can try to make it as nice as possible. Something like this. Does not need to be perfect, and it's just so we can see we are making these things, and this is also very tradable, but we need to break. Like here, for example, this would have been a losing trade, because here I would see like, okay, we are breaking it. So only to show you, we do not have 100% win trade with nothing. So I would have taken a long trade on this bar here and target 1.5. Of course, we see the length up to the start of the trend is not so high, so it's not so much we can gain on it, because typically you target the high of the start of this trend here. So more beautiful would of course be if we got something like this and cross here. Then we could put our stop loss. I will show a perfect scenario for a trade. Will be here and stop loss just below here. Oh, not so much. There. And target basically the previous high. And that will be a nice trade. But that's a dream scenario if we continue like this and cross above here. For the short opportunities, we can just move this another way for the ones that can do short trades. Then if we go down to the bottom side here, then you can put your stop loss just something like this. You just need to look at the previous and target basically down to this one here. So that will be a short trade. But currently, as we see, both in the 4-hour and in the 30 minutes, 30 minutes is closer to a trade. So this, let's see, this will occur today. So for the ones that want to follow gold today, you have a possibility for a nice long trade or a nice short trade. One of the possibilities you will have. So this is just to follow. Like you see now we are on the bottom, but you see he's respecting this green line you see here is a trend bottom line. You clearly see that he come down to it and it's respected. And you see that it not burn. Only here, like I said, we would have got a losing trade, but also would not be a nice trade because we only would have target up here. It's so small the trade, so I'm not so sure I would have taken it, by the way, because as we're targeting the start of the trend, this is not so much to look at. So we need to be more conservative. So, but down here, yes. So now you see again, respecting this trend line. You go exactly, you can zoom in, you go exactly to this green trend line. So you see how powerful these lines are. So that's gold. Then let's go back to binary option to see if we have something happening here. So as you see, we are currently moving inside this small, we can call it a box. We have one here. Let's make this something other color. Let's make it white, just for marking. So when something happen here, we can start to follow a little better. So we need to basically see we are inside this small box here now. So we need to wait right away he break one of these white lines for the upper side or for the downside. We can then start to be looking for our trade. But currently, like I said, we need to wait longer. Now I think we can move this one a little more down. Now we can take it to the downside here. We see that's an area where we can touch it many times. You see here we touch, we go up. So this one will also work as a resistant. So as you see, every time we touch this red line here, we go up. What I think I will do, I will move it a little more up. So make it a little stronger. Because we see the spikes go down. So we are still golden on this one. So if we come up to this red line here, we will take a put trade. But the bottom line here, we still need to keep down here. Because I do not, as we see, this one starts to be almost valid. But as we are still inside the box, I don't like it that much. So let's wait and see. I think currently we're only looking for put trades. This one is a much better area because as you're moving in this box, I will not want to take one here because you see the ball span is very closed because you are moving in so small area for so long time. So that's why we can't take a trade on this one here because soon he will choose up or down, so it will be more like gambling if you take a trade on here. But here will be not. So let's wait and see longer. We can take some look at some cryptocurrency. So let's open Bitcoin. Let's see if I can find it here. There we have it. So Bitcoin is still hovering around the same region we did see last week. Have been very little movement. You see every one here is a one-day chart. So we can basically say since 27th of August, and as Bitcoin is trading every single day, you can see we are moving very little. We are also here inside more like a box. So to take any trades here, we need to see something break this box. So we make a top line here. We can make this one white because it's not something we're going to trade. And we take a bottom line here. So you see that we are inside this very tiny box. And if we break any direction, then we can start to be looking for a trade. But currently, as you see, something needs to happen before we can look into it. But that does not mean we can look at the daily 30 minutes to see if we can find something here. No, I don't see nothing. Because here we can see we have a strong, in the 30 minutes at least, strong support. And right above it, here we have a strong resistance. It's a very small area for movement. It's basically just like $150, and $150 in Bitcoin is very little. So we can't take a trade on Bitcoin. So let's take a look at Ethereum. First, see here, nothing have happened. So we go back. Let's open. Take it. Oh. Ethereum maybe looks a little better. Let's see. Ethereum is currently testing this strong resistance here. Let's move it a little more up to there. So as we see, this area is very strong. You see we came with a very strong bar down here, tested the support, did not manage to go up again, and then we broke it, but we go directly up again. And here we broke it, and since then we have been below it. So if you look at the past here, you see that it's very hard to break this support that is now resistant. So, but as we can see that we have tried now for many days, we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is the 7th day he's trying to break it. So looks like we might be ready to take to break it. And if we can break this one, we will look for a long trade. So we need to close above here. We can take that on the 4 hour. Let's move over to 4 hour. So if we can break above it, if you see here we got a fake out. This can happen, of course. But let's go back to the 1 day. We see a little better. See if we can close above, at least on the 1 day. we can then target at least this up here, because we see that's a region. We come up here and here, and we take our stop loss, something like this, and then we have a 1 to 1.72 ratio, and that is within our rules of trading. So let's wait and see. Maybe this can be a trade for our next session in Wednesday, but currently it's nothing said that we'll break this resistance right now. So like I said, I've been trying now for 7 days, so we need to be patient to come above this white line we have made here now and close above it, basically. Let's go back to binary option. I think we have now crossed it above here now. Let's see if we can maybe set another area of interest. Can maybe be here. I need to check in the past how this looks like. Yes, you see this line is also good. So now if we can come up to this red line, we are going to make a push trade. So finally we broke out of this small region we have been in for a lot of minutes. So if we can come up to this red line here now, we are going to make a push trade. So you see on the right side here, you see the number of my resistance zone if you want to copy this trade. So we are ready to push if you come up there. And that follow the rules that you see, this white Bollinger Band line, it's currently below. So if this one shoot up here now, we can take the trade. But right away, this higher Bollinger Band line here, the upper line, cross above, this one is not valid more. It's valid as long as this is below it. So right away this one cross above, that means we are trending upwards and we might at any time break it. So we can see we're getting closer and closer to our lines, so we are ready to take the trade. The one now, this one start to be more attractive, so we can remove this one. Oh, I did push by mistake. Do not take this trade. Let's wait and see. We should have taken it up here. So there will be a trade. Let's wait and see how this turn out, by the way. So the reason for this trade is that we see that we have an area of interest here, that every time when we touch this line, we move the other direction. See here, we go up. If you go back here, we go up. So every time you touch this line, you see that we move the other direction. So that's the reason for this trade. But I can see here now we lost it because we also now this is not valid more, because you see the higher Bollinger Band have crossed above it. That means we are ready for moving this one a little more up. So let's move it up to this edge. Let's see. We need now to be up here. So that's the next area of interest. It was a little my mistake because I did push wrong here, so we did go into a very bad position. These things can happen. Now let's look at some other pairs here. Let's remove some of this noise that we have had from before. So you can see here clearly from another session, this is already marked up. That means we see clearly that we are in downtrend. For the daily we don't see a trade. Maybe we can see it on 4 hour. 4 hour, I would say if we had been up in this line here, that would be our short trade. So we don't have that. Let's go to the 30 minutes. So for 30 minutes we can see that we have a support area here. We are currently making a small term thread like this, and maybe we can mark one here also. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. So we need to break this small region here to take a trade. So currently here I can't see anything. We liked another. We need now to look if we can break to the downside here or to the upside here. But as long as we don't do any of this, we do not have a trade for New Zealand dollar against American dollar. But the both options we have is to take a long position here, target the top, set the stop loss, for example, something like below here. And the another way, we take a short trade if we come below here, take our stop loss just about here, and target maybe around the spikes. As we need 1.5, we need down there. So both ways are possible. But like the another one, we need to be more patient, but this will also happen today. So we will break in any direction. So we are ready for both scenarios. So this will happen the next 1 hour or so. We will have a trade here. Maybe 1 hour, 6 minutes before we get the trade, but this will be a valid trade within a very short time. So let's take our new pair. See on the higher time frame the trend. We can clearly see that we are in a strong uptrend. Let's mark it up on the 4 hour. So clearly we are looking for long opportunities, but that, as we can see that we are very far away from our trend line. So, and we also have, if we mark that one, we can see that we have right here, we have a more like a support area. And typically we can target the top, but it's so little distance, I don't see value in it. And it's also a chance that we'll retest this. If we were here, I would feel more secure, as we have the strength of 2 support, trend line support and this support line. Here we can break down, so I don't feel this one will hold. We can take a look at the 30 minutes if we see something better. On the 30 minutes, you see we have, here we would need to wait for the confirmation that we keep above it. So if we close above this white line here, what we can look for is a long trade. Right now you can see he's really testing it, but we can see also, that's something before I start to mark too much here now, we can also see that we are making lower lows. That's not a good sign. You see here, if we mark that up, we are making here, we got a high, we got a lower high, and yet again a lower high. So I think for the 30 minutes, what I will be looking for here is that we cross above and then look for a long trade. I will not look for a short trade because that is going against our long-term trend. So I think we need to wait and see that if we can break above this trend line and then target the higher highs here. So a trade would be something like this. If we move like this, right now you can see we are breaking below it, but it's not so strong. So let's wait. We take our trade, for example, here. We can then target all the way up here, at least to the closed area, and take our stop loss below the spike you see here, and have a ratio of 1 to 241. So now there are only 3 minutes left, so if there are any questions, I will take only questions from now on. Now let's see. For Åsa, for indicators for newbies, take a look at my oldest videos I have put up here. I'm showing a few indicators. The one I'm using the most is MACD and it's DC, Dolce channel. That's the two most easy indicators to use if you want to trade for Forex. And they both have a win rate around 56% if you're using a ratio of 1 to 1.5. So that's two indicators, and both of them are free to use. Okay. No, that was not a good trade. It is on binary option. I did see that. I did push wrong also, so it was a little my own fault. Ah, you did win after. Yes. If you had entered correctly, like I should have done, you would have won the trade also. Yes, of course you can copy my trades, but you need to agree on my trades to copy them. So it's better you follow and learn the way I'm trading, and if you agree on the trades I do, then copy. But of course you can copy. That's the reason I put the stop loss and take profit levels and everything I put here. So let's see here now. So I will also write it here. I have sessions. I will write it. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All of them are the same time as the time you came in now, and last for 1 hour. So my next session now live will be in Wednesday. So always is 2 days in between. So we are now done for today.